Our next session is focusing on workforce for today and tomorrow, another hot topic. I'd like to welcome our 3 panel members to the screen. All of their bios are available online. Just go to investleadsgrenville.com/summit2021 if you wish to view. With us today, we have Susan Rutters, Superintendent for Schools from Upper Canada District School Board, Eastern Ontario Education Centre, Glenn Vollebregt, President and CEO for St. Lawrence College, and Shannon Liscumb, Director of CSE Consulting. I would now like to welcome your moderator to the podium, Jim Hutton, Business Development Office for Leeds Grenville Economic Development. Jim?
Thanks very much, Anne, for introducing our panelists. The pandemic has certainly highlighted a critical issue facing our large and small businesses, and that is attracting employees. Although the pandemic created a focus on this issue, many employers were already having difficulty attracting tradespeople, general laborers, and qualified professionals. One of the areas of focus of our economic development department is talent attraction and workforce development, and fostering further collaboration between employers, educational institutions, and employment agencies. We are very pleased to have our panelists here with us today to talk about the workforce for today and tomorrow. We prepared 2 questions we'd like each panelist to discuss from the perspective of their own agency. After the panel discussion, we hope to have time for a few questions from our summit participants. For question 1, I will start with Susan and then Glenn and Shannon. And for question 2, I will start with Glenn and then Shannon and Susan. So for question 1, Susan, tell us about your programs and give a few examples of how they provide potential employees with the skills and knowledge that are needed for today's workforce.
Good morning, and thank you so much for the opportunity to be here to talk about a pilot program that the Upper Canada District School Board has taken the lead on in collaboration with Grenville Campus and Education Centre and our 3 coterminous boards of education. The program, which is currently underway at the T.R. Leger School of Adult and Alternative and Continuing Education on Grenville campus, is an OYAP, so Ontario Youth Apprenticeship Program, Level 1 Commercial Vehicle and Equipment Apprenticeship. And it's for secondary students from across Eastern Ontario. And so right now we have 20 students who are participating in the program. And by December 17th, we'll have graduated with their Level 1 Commercial Vehicle Apprenticeship certification. And so just to provide a little bit of background, we all are aware that Grenville campus has had a long-standing history of providing post-secondary education and apprenticeship training in Eastern Ontario during their affiliation, of course, with University of Guelph. And when that affiliation was no longer in place, the municipality of North Grenville acquired the campus, and they've been renewing it on several key pillars, and one of which is education and training. And so 4 local school boards have come together with the campus to really look at how can we provide some innovative programming for both school-age students and adults across Eastern Ontario. And so this current OYAP Level 1 apprenticeship in commercial vehicle is one of those programs. And as I said, UCDSB is taking the lead on it. So it's a 10-week program. We have students engaging both practical and theoretical learning in an in-person format in the Power and Equipment Building on campus, which is attached to our T.R. Leger site. The theoretical components of the program are fully digitized, and all of the instructional resources are available in both French and English. And so depending upon the needs of the students in the program, it's certainly our capacity to provide it as a bilingual program. We have a really dynamic advisory board that's been established with members of Leeds Grenville Economic Development, with the Ministry of Labour, with our 4 school boards, and really with significant local industry partner commitment. Because they're living the reality really of not being able to secure trained apprentices here in Eastern Ontario in the commercial vehicle trades. And their grassroots experience that they're sharing with us around workforce is certainly mirrored in the data coming out around the lack of heavy equipment and other commercial vehicle maintenance trades. Lack of personnel, lack of trained people in Eastern Ontario is a significant need. And of course, we're also looking towards the experiential learning opportunities that we can provide for younger students so that they have that opportunity to experience and think about from an awareness and interest perspective that area. So at this point, what we have on our journey to developing commercial vehicle apprenticeship opportunities on Grenville campus is really proof of concept in that the current OYAP level 1 program is going quite well. Our students are finding great success, but our biggest challenge moving forward is going to be sustainability. And so as the lead board, Upper Canada has made substantial investment of time and resources to establish the program. And of course, with the support of the Grenville Campus and Education Center. But we're really at a crucial point now in our development, and we're actively seeking with some immediacy the means to be able to sustain the OYAP program and establish adult level programming in order to balance as a board, right? Our primary obligation is really providing that high quality K-12 learning experience and educational programming. But we still want to be able to serve our local adult learners to achieve their Red Seal certifications so that they can secure great jobs, provide very well for their families, and meet the significant industry demand for skilled labor in Eastern Ontario. So we're working closely with the Ministry of Labour, Training and Skills Development, and we've just submitted training and delivery agents applications for level 1 apprenticeship training for adults in ag equipment technician, in heavy duty equipment technician, and in truck and coach technician. And if we are successful in gaining these opportunities, it'll allow us to offer tuition-based adult programming at intervals throughout the year on Grenville campus. We're also pursuing skills development funding through the Ministry of Labour. And once again, looking to elevate our services in a wraparound way that really supports people learning and developing pre-apprenticeship skills, the apprenticeship training itself, and also that post-apprenticeship training for that ongoing upskilling that is so necessary for our local industry partners to ensure that their employees have access to. And so these the current applications for these adult programs are really going to be pivotal in ensuring that we can continue what has been like very, very exciting work for us, and seeing the kids currently in that program and their success and their engagement is very promising. And I think that we're looking to serve some much needing program needs for the workforce of Eastern Ontario, and really importantly to serve that need here in Eastern Ontario, so our adults can stay close to home and their current jobs and their families while they're pursuing these really important qualifications. So I'll turn it back to you, Jim.
Oh, thanks very much, Susan, for that answer and for telling us about your programs. Next, we'll turn to Glenn. Glenn, if you could please outline your programs from St. Lawrence College and let us know how they help us with workforce development. Thank you.
Great. Yeah, no, thanks, Jim. And thanks for the opportunity and the invite to be part of the panel. You know, I guess I should start with, you know, as a college, we offer, you know, over 100 programs across the Eastern region, Brockville, Cornwall, and Kingston. And, you know, most of our programs, if not all of our programs, have a work integrated learning opportunity for our students, which, you know, just really speaks to on the job training and skills learning. So in terms of the types of programming that we offer as an institution, you know, it's really our mission to serve the workforce. That's, you know, that's why that's why we exist. You know, we have some nice built-in strengths for that, and one of them is what I would call our PACs. program advisory committees, and these are committees that are made up of employers and subject matter experts for each one of our programs, and they help ensure that our program curriculum is truly meeting the needs of our employers. It's interesting though when you look at work shortages. It's something you can identify the areas where we need workers, and then we have enrollment, and we have students and the types of programs that they want to enter. And I just recently read a report from OCAS, which is our Ontario College application system, sort of highlighting the top 10 jobs between 2021 2025, so the next 4, 5, 6 years. And then comparing that to enrollment levels. And, there's some significant concerns there, particularly in the healthcare sector, where we're seeing, huge demand growth of 50-60% projected over the next 4 to 5 years, but enrollments are down by 30%. And this is sort of globally across the province. So, programs like the Ontario government did this year to attract PSWs were incredibly successful. I think as a system, we trained 8,000 new PSWs, like in one shot in 1 year, thanks to that government program. So, it's one thing to identify those shortages, but we collectively need to educate our students and help guide them in terms of the types of programs they're registering in and what the job market's going to be like and what their opportunity for career development is going to be like. The other piece we have, as a college, we have what we call SLC Plus, and it's something new that we just branded, and a number of programs in SLC Plus. One is called micro credentials, which is really short-term base skills training, and these are great because they allow folks to get these credentials in cybersecurity, logistics, distribution, tourism, hospitality, those types of things, carpentry, welding, electrical, in a very short time period. So get that skill to get out into the workforce and meet the needs of what our employers are looking for. Of course, we have our part-time and professional learning options for folks, which have been around for years. Corporate and custom training, we do a lot of that as well to help specific employers. If they have a specific skill need that they need, we can work with them to just identify a program to either upskill their current folks or to help work with them to identify the skills that they need, and then we can run programs along that force as well. Recently we did, and I have to take this opportunity to do a shout out to Jamie Puttycombe and Glenna Shaley, John Conrad, and those folks who are out in the field all the time. Recently, we did an announcement in Brockville with our mobile lab, and these are just we have 2 mobile labs, and what they are give opportunity for students in high school to get to understand what welding is like and other types of trades activities. We have one that does healthcare as well and food prep, and it gives them a glimpse into what type of jobs there could be, gives them an opportunity to try this stuff in a virtual environment. And these are just sort of, they're trailers. And I think Jamie's been on the road for about 6 or 7 weeks now, doing these things, and they're highly, highly successful. And you should see young folks, students, when they try this stuff out, and it's all in a virtual environment. It's got a gaming aspect to it. Their eyes light up. And they get excited about things that, quite frankly, they may never even thought of as a potential career in the trades. And these are some of the shortages we're facing out there. So we need to find different ways to get to get our product out there to students and expose them to this. And the folks on the line with me today have been tremendous support and help and partners with the college in helping achieve this. So maybe I'll stop there because I could go on for a while, and I know we're pressed for time. So.
All right, well, thanks very much, Glenn, for those comments. Lastly, but not leastly, we have Shannon representing our employment agencies. And Shannon, could you please let us know how your programs from all the employment agencies in Leeds, Grenville set up our employees for potential future work?
Yes, I just want to say quickly, Glenn, I was able to visit with Jamie in one of the mobile labs, and I have apparently missed my calling as a welder. It was it was a really great experience, but it was so cool, and I'm really excited to have that in the community. So good morning, everyone, and thank you, Anne, for your intro and invite to speak today on behalf of CSE Consulting, as well as my colleagues at the Employment and Education Center in Brockville and Keys Job Center in Gananoque. And I'm so excited to be collaborating with Susan and Glenn on this panel. So thanks for bringing us together. So an overview quickly of who we are and what we do. As an Employment Ontario service provider, we provide a wide range of free resources, supports, and services to respond to the career and employment needs of individuals in our community, as well as the skilled labor needs of employers. The goal is to help people find and keep sustainable employment while also responding to the needs of our local labor market. Although we like to say the goal is to be so successful, we work ourselves right out of a job, but we're still here, so there must be work left to do. Collectively, our three organizations have decades of experience assisting clients to recognize and overcome barriers to employment, providing job readiness and life skills programs individually on a group basis, developing employment and community training opportunities, and providing on-the-job support to clients and employers. So such as assisting with onboarding and training plans and early interventions to help employees keep their jobs. We provide very welcoming and inclusive environments for all. And we meet clients where they're at. We serve the whole job seeker. And we really take pride in engaging all community resources and partners who are experts in their field to provide individualized wraparound services. Speaking to the many training programs and workshops that we deliver, we focus on building community-based programs with employment sector leaders so that we can ensure in-demand occupations and then the skills needed are targeted. So we collectively work with thousands of job seekers and employers each year, which enables us to have a solid knowledge of the sector needs in our community. We are active members on municipal, provincial, and national organizations that keep their pulse on labor market information. So these relationships not only help to inform us of the skills and knowledge needed for today's workforce, but potential gaps that need to be filled for our workforce of tomorrow. As Jim already spoke to, we are definitely experiencing a labor shortage and have been, and it's only been exacerbated by the pandemic. So our teams have been working really tirelessly to listen to the needs of our employer community and then respond accordingly. We evaluate trends of the incoming job postings that are coming to our job boards. We speak directly with employers to assess their needs. We examine feedback from local workforce surveys, and then we consult with other community partners to then build workforce-specific dual customer training opportunities that benefit the job seeker and the employer alike. So just a few examples of how we are responding to local labor market feedback. So the EEC and CSE have both partnered with Empower Canada, a nonprofit organization that looks to launch young adults into digital careers. We're really excited about this. We'll be offering space in our locations for youth to participate in a 15-week virtual program that will lead to a Google IT support professional certificate and then placement in full-time employment. All three of our agencies sit on the Ontario Tourism Education Corporation's Regional Working Group, it's a mouthful, which looks to support workforce innovation in tourism and hospitality. Obviously an industry that continues to face challenges locally due to COVID. Our work with OTEC helps to inform the relevant curriculum and certifications needed in the programs that we deliver, such as CSE's Ready, Set, Serve program, the EEC's Hospitality Career Catalyst program, and then Keys Charter Career in Hospitality and Tourism. I know that Keys is currently delivering a DZ license training program to prepare candidates early for upcoming positions as drivers and snowplow operators. Historically, employers can definitely struggle with finding skilled and seasonal employees for these positions. So this is timely training. And then lastly, I do want to mention that all three agencies work closely with Ontario Works and the counties in delivery of the employment placement program, which provides employment and training opportunities for those on social assistance. Much of the job loss due to the pandemic has been concentrated among those with lower education levels, those working in lower paid jobs. With a labor shortage, the potential for talent in this pool of job seekers is really crucial to filling gaps in our local labor market right now. So accordingly, we have trained facilitators that respond to this by delivering workshops such as our Getting Ahead in a Just Getting By world. It aimed at helping under-resourced individuals take charge and build resources for a better life. Thank you.
All right, thanks for those comments, Shannon. Very interesting. And I see we're running a little short of time. So we're going to go to the second question, and I'll have to ask you to keep your responses brief. This question is about collaboration now and in the future. So this will go to Glenn first. How do our secondary and post-secondary educational institutions collaborate with our employment agencies to ensure our workforce has the necessary skills to succeed in today's job market? And the second part of that, how should they work together in the future?
Great. Yeah, thanks, Jim. I'll be a little brief for this time, but I do want to say, to Shannon, your skills as a welder. Last night were the Premier's Awards, where we honor success in college grads, and the winner for the apprenticeship and trades category was one of our alumni, Melissa Phelan, who has done an incredible job, sharing her story and getting women involved in trades and stuff. So a nice story last night. Anyhow, in terms of the employment offices, I think we work well with the employment offices. I know we work well with Shannon and have done some programs, Pathways to Production and others. We also run 3 of our own employment agencies, in Charlotte Lake and Brockville and in Ottawa as well. So, we understand how they work, and they are on the ground. They have the pulse of the market. They understand what employers need. I think in the future, in terms of collaboration, I think the college needs to work closer with employment agencies to find out, because again, the employment agencies are going to know what's in demand, and we need to be able to turn around those quick programs in order to meet that demand. And we can do that through micro credentials, which I talked about earlier. So I'll leave it short there and allow others to weigh in.
Thank you very much for that, Glenn. And next we'll go to Shannon.
I really appreciate those comments, Glenn, and I couldn't agree more. And I would just say, for many years now, we've forged and strengthened relationships with local education partners, really recognizing that partnership is necessary to build on all of our collective strengths and then provide the best service to our community. Like you said, Glenn, we've collaborated with SLC in the past on very successful Skills Advance Ontario projects, Pathways to Production. And it worked well by bringing our collective skills together. SLC provided their expertise in curriculum development and delivery. And then our employment centers provided employment readiness training, job placement, ongoing retention supports. We just really worked together, and it was great. We work very strongly with TR Leger and referrals back and forth for their PLAR program and STEP program. And then prior to COVID, they always welcomed us on site to provide one-on-one service with mutual clients. We've also, as Susan was talking about what's going on at the Grenville campus, we have been an active member of the planning committee for the OEAP Commercial Vehicle and Apprenticeship Program, which has been lovely to be invited to that. We've offered letters of support, assistance providing employment readiness workshops, connecting apprentices with employers. We're really excited to support and be a part of ongoing opportunities coming out of the Kemptville campus. What's going on there is really exciting in that community. And we've been working ongoing in collaboration with our school boards, public and private, for many years now to provide early career decision-making interventions. Pre-pandemic, we were offering resume interview prep, job success workshops in both school boards. And then during the pandemic, we've continued to work with St. Mike's virtually, and we just booked some careers classes for next quadmester at NG. So Anne did ask me to just briefly mention the Canada-Ontario job grant that we deliver. It's a phenomenal financial opportunity for local employers to upskill incumbent workers and new hires. And how this works for everyone as well is that when we're looking at potential trainers in the community, we can look to St. Lawrence College to be potential offers of training for that, which is great. And then just kind of to echo what Glenn said, we really appreciate our current collaborations, but they can always continue to be strengthened. I think it's really prudent that we work together to develop, strategic program plans, ensure we all have a clear understanding of our roles and responsibilities. In terms of our secondary connections, when we find the right champions within our various local high schools, great partnerships happen, and sometimes it can take some work to find those champions, but when we do, it's awesome. And I really want to keep building on this because we love contributing current information to careers and cooperative education classes, and we really have solid employer connections for mentoring and placement opportunities and innovative ideas that we want to contribute. And then for our post-secondary connections, we loved what came out of Pathways. We want to continue to build on this. It could be really beneficial for all, for there to be even, joint career services provision for students at SLC. Like, let's leverage the experience of employment service in Leeds and Grenville to assist with recruitment services, placements, virtual job fairs, and we really want to continue to work together on your micro-credential programs as well, for sure, and provide job development assistance with the employers we've already built, really strong relationships with. So, we're already collaborating, but there's room for growth, and we really see the benefit to the community as a whole.
Thanks very much, Shannon. I appreciate that. And we'll now go to Susan for her comments on this.
Well, I just want to thank Shannon for some of the points that she covered there, because certainly I was also going to reference our relationship through TR Leger and the work we're doing with adults in our communities to try and connect them to the learning that they need in advance of having an OSSD, but also the learning they need and the pathways through our STEP program for employability skills. And you certainly help us a great deal with that. And traditionally, we've had really great relationships with our folks in the employment agencies. Specialist high schools majors is an area of real focus in Upper Canada, and we are one of the provincial leaders in terms of the number of those programs that we offer. And those are programs where we have students who are able to match their skills and abilities to a particular career path of interest. And the variety of pieces that bring that fulsome experience are cooperative education placements, their specific classes that are purposely directed towards that field of work, and also associated industry certifications. But when we develop our special high skills major programs, we really do rely on our employment agency partners to help us identify the labor market information for each local school, because we're very vast board in terms of geographical size. And so the needs in one community in terms of an industry may not be the same as others. But we are offering 14 different sectors of specialist high schools major training. And currently we have almost 1,500 students in grade 11 and 12 who are part of a specialist high skills major program: agriculture, health and wellness, hospitality and tourism, construction, and that's just to name a few of the more popular programs. In terms of where we can go moving forward, I think we need to continue the good work we do together. I do think that we really, the depth of our collaboration needs to increase as we move out of the pandemic. We recognize that there's a significant need in the workforce in Eastern Ontario. And so how we can really take that most current information and disseminate that effectively among all of our guidance counselors and all of our cooperative education teachers and our specialist high schools major leads, that's going to be really important. One thing that would be really helpful to us is an annotated list of all of the variety of employment agencies across our board, because we are quite vast, as I said, in terms of geography, and having that one-stop shop to share with our educators around who they contact, where and when, and what programs and services are available, I think would be a really great step towards, increasing our collaboration moving forward. But we certainly feel well supported and and get great responses when we reach out to our employment agency friends. So thanks very much. Back to you, Jim.
Well, thanks very much, Susan, and thanks everyone. That's a lot of information there. And I know this is a very important topic, and I'm glad to see that everybody is collaborating now. And I think we need to continue that collaboration into the future, and we need to make sure we're in tune with what businesses need. So thanks very much. We do have a couple of questions, but we're out of time. So what I will do is forward those to the panelists, and we'll get to the panelists and respond that way. So I'd like to sincerely thank our three panelists for their participation in our summit and for sharing your knowledge and experience with us. This year, County's partnered with localmarket.ca based in Grenville to support our local food producers. All speakers will be receiving a customized Leeds Grenville local food package to enjoy. So thank you very much, and I hope you're able to enjoy the rest of our summit. And I'll turn it back to you.
Thank you, everyone. And I know there was a couple of questions in the chat, and I just want to, workforce is critical. So we did this two-pronged today. Not only did we have the panel, but we also have a chat room session this afternoon called Employees, Where Are They and How Can I Track Them? And I know there was a question from North Grenville BIA in regards to the food and beverage, and some of that will be addressed in that chat room. So please do join us there. So thank you, panel members.